Hi, I'm Gary Gatling. I make games. Welcome to Feu. I published my first game on Steam earlier this year in 2025, and my objective for the second one was to still publish it in 2025 and have a very short dev cycle. I kind of missed that, but I'm pretty close. This video is about what inspired me to do this, and the others will be about the process and more technical aspects of making that game. So as most game projects begin, it's about nostalgia. My personal one is spending countless hours mining in the depth of Pokémon Platinum on DS.
You know, the one that goes...
A lot of people really like the housing aspect, like having your own little secret base and stuff like this. But I really liked spending time finding gems in the depths of that region. I don't know, I found that was such a cool aspect, even though I don't think it affected the gameplay that much. Like, I think the limited special things were fossils that you could evolve into creatures, and some added attacks and defense stuff like holding objects. So it kind of began by wanting to make something similar, but without the whole creature collecting aspect. Might wonder why nobody else did this. Well, actually, they kinda did. There were some fan projects like mods for the Pokemon where you're literally just a guy mining. There are also some people that have tried to make minigames very similar to this. And the thing is, when I looked first into this project was in June 2025, it didn't seem like there was really fully fleshed out games coming out based on this. And so I took the decision of trying to make a game based on that. And the thing is, because it is actually a minigame, I don't think it offers enough depth to justify making a whole game about this. And so I also wanted that game to revolve around resource collecting, but in different ways as well. So the main one, the one that got me into it, was the mining minigame from Pokemon. And the thing is, I learned for my first game how to make 3D games. I wondered about making it 2D, and I saw some blog posts about really detailing how the actual mining game from the Pokemon games were made, with sprites and stuff like this. So I could have done this, but I felt like maybe having a twist of having it 3D and kind of move around in space could be interesting. So I did a quick prototype that you can see here, which is really just see if it feels right hitting things. And it seems it was a good enough decision, like I liked it. And from what I could see a little later down the prototyping process, I actually found out that there were fully fledged games coming out that were based on this. One of them is Gemporium. It was recently out and it did quite well. And another one isn't out on Steam yet, but it seems really well made. To be honest, I'm really glad I decided to make it 3D, because it means that I have a little bit of a difference from teams of people that probably made it better. So that's about the first minigame, but what about the other one? Well, because I thought it would be interesting to have some resource gathering, the other one was inspired by a game about digging a hole, and well, it's not original at all, and I'm glad I didn't make the whole game centered around this, because it's been explored to death. So that minigame is really just the mining one, except that you dig for metals instead of mining for gems. Like, that's really about it. And as I was thinking about the setting, well, honestly, when I was a kid, there was a lot of cartoons about like the Wild West and stuff like this, and that's not an imagery that I found a lot in games, at least not of the ones that I played. So then the setting was decided. I'm gonna make a game that's in the Western, like kind of an idealized, peaceful version of it, where the only thing that you have to do is gather resources. And then I thought about the third minigame. And that one is just about panning, you know, like just trying to filter water to find little specks of gold that's been unearthed and just carried along the stream. Along after making the prototypes and then some of the systems, I realized I don't really have an idea for the visuals, and so I tried to look around, and I felt like the cute and vibrant and kind of atmospheric vibe would be really nice, but I don't know how to do that. So I looked at games like Spilled, Cold Canyon, and A Short Hike, and I think like that's similar to how I made my models, at least for the Short Hike. So I really just have low poly models and put some pixelating filter on top of this. And you know, like for a while it was just until I figured out something better, but well, it's gonna be it. But then what's the point if it's just about resource gathering? Well, I'm not convinced yet my game has a really good point, but for now it's really just about going into the West and kind of settling in, building your own house and town, and every building that you will help build, you will have an associated minigame with this, and it will bring you more money to buy more stuff. And the thing that I didn't really like about the other cozy games in the similar fashion, I talked about Gemporium, but I also tried Trash Goblin in the meantime, and to be quite honest, it didn't really feel that cozy to me. Like, I didn't understand the day-night cycle for something that didn't really have quests that were embedded in time, and also like the limited actions for a day, limited time, and really also the merchant side of things. But to be very honest, when I started to design the game itself and having more fleshed out systems, I understood that it's quite important to have this kind of system as a gameplay programmer, because it kind of limits the scope of what the player can do, and so what kind of situations that you have to foresee and really just handle. But still, I felt like I don't want a time limit, but I do have to limit the number of actions that the player has to do. And so, well, I'm gonna talk about it more in depth in another video, but yeah, that were the kind of things that I wanted to make evolve from other games, even though I think they are justified, but it doesn't feel cozy enough to me. So yeah, that's what I was trying to do. So yeah, hopefully the nostalgia hasn't run out with similar games coming out, and people will be interested in playing my game. But yeah, I'm fairly sure, because people spend time like making mods and really trying to recreate some parts of that very specific minigame from our childhoods. I think there's interest for it, and also like it's still kind of an untapped vein in a way, because you have games that I remember from being a kid. Like, I played a bit of Spectrobes. I never played, like, I saw Fossil Fighters, Fossil Hunters, but these are things that I think would work really well if modernized, and it doesn't seem that you need that big of a team to make things like this. At least that's my belief. So yeah, maybe you will take the opportunity and bring more nostalgia from the DS era into PC games or consoles and into the modern one. So yeah, thank you for watching. If you see this video, there's a demo out right now for the game, which name is Rich River, and you can play right now. It would really help if you left a review. It's free. It's the demo that's out, and if you can share with friends, that will really help as well. And yeah, I'm gonna make probably a couple of the video going over the prototypes, gameplay programming, and early looks of it, and probably another video after release, kind of going over the whole thing. So yeah, thank you for your attention. See ya.